Welcome to Whangarei Matters, a brand new podcast from Whangarei District Council. This series will give us a deep dive to explore local issues in detail, and we'll be taking your questions and ideas about what topics you want to explore. Today's episode is all about Whangarei during winter and why we love it here. Whether you're a tourist or a local, there's always something new to explore in Whangarei. Craig Neilson spoke to District Development Coordinator Cheree Morrison to find out more.
Hey Cheree, so thanks for coming on the Whangarei Matters podcast.
Thank you for having me, Craig. I appreciate it.
So you're pretty new in your role, but can you remind me what it is you do?
Sure. So I am the District Development Coordinator for Whangarei District Council. I like to say that that's a fancy way of saying I'm the brand manager for Whangarei District Love It Here, which is super exciting. I've been in the role, I think about 10 weeks.
Is that all?
I know. It feels like forever.
It sort of does feel like forever. And
Yeah.
I have to say, you fit the boots really well. You've just come straight in and you hit the ground running, so to speak.
Yeah, the amazing woman who was here before me was, I think, here for about 15 years. So there's been big boots to fill, but it's been super exciting. And this is just somewhere I've always wanted to be in this space. So I'm just grabbing the opportunity with both hands. Super excited.
I have to say, how do you know Whangarei so well? Because you weren't born here, were you?
I wasn't. I moved up here and started Parabe School when I started intermediate. So I've been in Wellington and Auckland before that. I went to Girls High and then I took off to Waikato University after that. I actually was working in Auckland in magazines, and I worked with a magazine called New Zealand Life and Leisure for 10 years. I was their staff writer and their travel editor of the publication The Insider's Guide to New Zealand. So I actually did cover Whangarei once before. I had to do a 10,000 word special on Whangarei. Also did a 10,000 word special on Dargaville and Wairoa and Stewart Island. I've been really lucky to go all around New Zealand and just absolute dream job. And then when I found myself post-COVID, post-children, looking for a new opportunity, my husband said to me, if you could do any job in Whangarei, what would you do? And I said to him, I would love to work for the RTO or the council promoting Whangarei. And here I am.
Yeah, right. I mean, not just that, but I think it says something that even after traveling so much and seeing so much and writing about it, you thought, actually, the place I want to live is Whangarei.
Absolutely. And I think, like a lot of people, I left after high school and I thought, goodbye, Whangarei, I'm off to the big city and I'm going to go, live my dreams, which I did. But then it came time to have a family, to buy a house, and all of a sudden, Whangarei looked super appealing. And it was a really easy decision to come back here. We've been back 6 years now, and we'll pop back to Auckland for a weekend, and we just leave Auckland thinking, yes, we get to go back to Whangarei. And we really, really love it. And I'm really proud to be a ambassador for this area and this district, because my T-shirt may say, for those who can't see, but Whangarei District love it here, and I really do love it here.
Oh, choice. Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty similar sort of relationship or story where it wasn't I grew up in Auckland, and my girlfriend, now wife, we were thinking, we're going to probably leave Auckland. Where do we want to live in the world? And we were like, should we move to Beijing? Do we want to live in Neilson? And we actually went and auditioned a bunch of places. We flew around New Zealand. And we couldn't find the perfect spot. And in our frustration, we were like, well, maybe next time we take a holiday in Pātau South, let's just drop by Whangarei just to have a quick look, have a quick look at the city. We'd sort of been bypassing it for ages. And when we actually took a closer look, we were really surprised what a good city this is. And we realized that this place sort of has it all.
It really does.
So moving on quickly, the podcast we want to record today is about visiting Whangarei, but also about just loving it here if you already live in Whangarei.
Absolutely.
And specifically, we want to talk about wintertime.
So everyone's favourite season.
Well, I heard I've heard a lot of people talk about the Winterless North.
Yes.
What does that mean?
The Winterless North I can sum up by saying that last Friday, which was Matariki, my family and I went for a walk to Whale Bay, and I seriously contemplated whether I could get away with going for a swim, because it was the most beautiful day. It was warm, it was no clouds in the sky, it was just crystal clear water. And I had to remind myself that we were in the middle of winter. I had to pretty much stop my 6-year-old from just taking her clothes off and getting in. It was stunning. And there were people who had, clearly were tourists who had walked over from Matapuri and were in their togs swimming. There would have been 10 to 15 people in the water.
Wow, in Whale Bay.
At Whale Bay.
Yeah.
And it was just a pinch me moment of like, we're not, there are always going to be days where you're stuck inside on a rainy day, but for the majority of the time we can get out and about. And in our district, we can do walks, we can hit the beach, we get to enjoy, fairly balmy temperatures for most of the time. And I just think there's nowhere better than the Winterless North during winter, because it's so beautiful. And there's actually a lot to do. It's probably the biggest thing I hear about Whangarei is people say, oh, well, there's nothing to do. Well, hopefully we can change your mind today, because we think that there's heaps.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I just want to add to that really quickly. I'm looking at Met Service right now, and at the present time, it's 14.3 degrees. It's one of those like bluebird, like perfect weather winter days. And the overnight low is expected to be 8 degrees. So, like, that is colder than normal.
Well, to be honest, I did walk down to the dairy before and complain to the owner that it was cold today.
Yeah, right, there you go. Yeah, so it's colder than normal, but it's not winter.
It's not winter cold.
The way that other people think about
Absolutely not. There is
winter.
for our international listeners, there is no snow. I think we barely see a frost if we're lucky. And if we do, it's quite exciting.
Hi, just a quick editor's note. The day after we recorded this episode, we did have a morning cold enough to get frost, and it did make the news, so how's that for timing?
So, yeah, we tend not to be too drastic in our temperatures here. We enjoy a nice mild climate.
And by the way, if I would have gone for that swim if I was at Whale Bay.
I was very tempted. It was very, very tempting. I did get a little bit wet, but it was just so beautiful.
I mean, let's quickly talk about what people visit for in the summer, or what else you can do on these gorgeous days. So you've already mentioned Whale Bay. That's not the only beach here, is it?
We have over 100 beaches here in the Whangarei district. We're so spoiled for choice. And I think that is one of the key things that brings people up over those Brenduins, which are open, would like to add. And it's just our natural beauty.
At time of recording.
At time of recording. We have so much natural beauty up here. From the moment you come over the top of those Brenduin hills and see that iconic coastline, we're just a district with so much going for it in terms of our natural beauty. And so much more as well. We've got, the Hātea Loop, which is just one of the best things in the weekend. Just amazing atmosphere. That draws a lot of people up. So the Hātea Loop is a 4.2 kilometre, fairly flat loop walk around the Hātea River. It takes in a sculpture trail. It's got the fairly iconic now Handavasa Art Centre, heaps of restaurants, heaps of cafes. It crosses our amazing Poe Bridge, which lifts up, which is very cool, 12 o'clock every day. Playgrounds, it's just a mecca of everything you could want, really, for an afternoon walk.
I have to interrupt and tell my loop story, because like when my partner and I were looking for houses here, all these real estate agents were saying to us, "Oh, have you done the loop yet? Have you done the loop?"
That's just what the locals
do. And I was just like, come on, we're from Auckland.
What is this loop?
Yeah, not even what is, but like I'm so spoiled. I literally used to live on the waterfront in Auckland, and I was like, I'm not going to be impressed. And eventually we thought, whatever, we've got to spare a couple of hours. Let's walk the loop.
Yep.
And quickly found that actually, it's super nice, very picturesque, full of really cool artworks, full of just very interesting things to do. There's literally a camera obscura.
Yeah, which is it's one of the only ones of its kind, I think, in the world, and it's so cool.
That's shortly followed by this huge playground, which is quite adult friendly.
Yeah, look, I think we've all had a little play on a couple of the flying foxes and things like that. I know I have.
And all of that, of course, is just right there in the central city. So it's honest to goodness, the loop walkers are just good for any ages and
Yep.
any level of familiarity with the city.
And it's one of our favourite winter things to do, to be honest. I have 2 children, 4 and 6, and I think any of the parents listening will know that during winter you need to get them out of the house. So for us, often it's, right, let's go do the loop. And I think our record is 2.5 hours to do the 4.2 kilometres because every time we go, it's a social occasion. You run into so many people you know. You play at every playground, of which I think there's at least 2 plus Putahi Park.
I can count 3, yeah.
Yeah, probably 3. Yes, actually, you're right. There's the little sand playground as well.
Plus Putahi Park.
Plus Putahi Park. So it's endless. We'll stop and get a hot chockey and just wander. And it's just such a great way to spend the afternoon, get some fresh air, get the kids out of the house and wear them out. We love it. It's great.
That's super nice. I mean, so that's urban.
Yep.
I also have this cool story. Recently, I hosted some friends from Paris. And one thing I did is, like, with one afternoon, I took them up Mount Manaya.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Out on the Whangarei Heads.
A must do.
A totally awesome, very doable walk, even in any season, I might add. And from up the top there, I said, cool, here's this incredible view over the Whangarei Heads. Just point to me where you want to go next.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, well, what's that over there? And I was like, that's this cool ridgeline track where you get a even more like spectacular views of these like pinnacle like rock sculpture structures. And you can walk down to Peach Cove and you probably have it to yourself, but just a lot of stairs to get back up.
The stairs. Yeah, look, I love that walk. I've done that walk. And the stairs at the beginning of that track are something unique.
Yes,
but don't let that put you off because it's got the most amazing views. And that's a really good one. You're like winter or summer, but during summer, if you do that on a hot day, park one car at Smugglers, park one at Ocean Beach and have an amazing, like the best swim of your life at Oceans after completing that walk.
Yeah. Well, that's what they chose. They were like, we can't look past that white sand beach over there.
No.
So we went there. And this actually was in summer. We went over to Dead Horse Bay. So there's like, you sort of go right from Ocean Beach on foot and you have to climb a tough little bit of like coastal landscape. And then you just come across the most spectacular, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's pretty large for a bay that you'll probably have to yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Or like there's maybe 2 or 3 other people there.
Yep.
There's like interesting wildlife. There was this cool like flock of birds just doing their thing, and a very nicely like protected little swimming area.
Yeah.
And they like these guys are French artists, and they could not believe like what
we have.
Yeah, where they'd landed. They travel all over the world, and they were like, man, you just have this right here the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
I know. And it's the same, and you can't mention, I think, like Ocean Beach, Whangarei Heads, Cheree Mountain, if you're going for a winter walk.
Good, yeah.
Cheree Mountain is like my favourite because it's always isolated. It's 3 kilometres of just this wild white sand beach. And I mean, I've seen dolphins in the waves there. We just love going out there just to, I don't know about you, I find during winter I need to get out of the house sometimes. There's nothing better for your mental health sometimes than just getting out, having a real windy walk on the beach, blow those cobwebs out, and then you can go home and like snuggle in front of the fire and read a book. But Cheree Mountain's just, it's so isolated, it's so beautiful, it's so untouched and pristine. And we have so many of these beaches to choose from. You know, whether you go out to Ngāngarau and the Tutakaka coast, Matapuri, Whale Bay, Sandy Bay, you know, we head out to the heads. We can't forget Bream Bay, Waipu, Ruakaka, you know, the walkway from Waipu to Langs is amazing. We are so spoiled. I think that's why we're at the moment really focusing on showcasing Whangarei as being an awesome place to come on up to. That's going to be our new slogan for our advertising campaign. Come on up.
What is it?
Come on up. So we will be telling everyone to come on up and actually see what we have here. You know, we've been keeping some of these things quite secret, I think, and as long as, I know we'd like to keep it that way, but it's probably time we started to share them with the world a little bit as well.
Okay, so I mean, that all sounds great for a beautiful day, but what if the weather is blowing a gale and
there's always things you can do in Whangarei, I think.
Yeah.
And as much as we may not want to leave the house when it's blustery and rainy, as I said, 2 small children, we often get out. I think it's easy to sometimes wear that hat, especially if you're a local, you wear your local hat and you see things as a local. And sometimes it's really cool just to take that hat off and put the different one on and be like, right, I'm going to be a tourist today. And I don't know about you, but the amount of times someone's come up and stayed at my house or come to visit and they've said, oh, what about this? Should we go to these things? And you go, oh my God, I've actually never been there. And there's so much stuff that we don't go and do purely because we see it all the time, we hear it all the time. And I don't know, you sort of don't go out and necessarily do the touristy things in your backyard. So, one thing I would say is on a wet wintry day, go do the things you've been meaning to do and kind of keep putting off. Kiwi North and the Whangarei Museum.
I still haven't been to Kiwi North.
Oh, I mean, look, get out.
Yeah.
Why are you on this podcast?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And look, I say that I didn't go until probably a year ago, which is so bad to admit. But we took my children up during school holidays, and I have to say, and they'll probably hate me for saying this, and this is no guarantee. There's no guarantee, but I have seen kiwi running around every time I go up there. They are running loops, and we went up only last week and had one of the kiwi who came out in the habitat. So you walk into a really dark habitat space. It takes a few minutes for your eyes to adjust, and then the kiwi are in this awesome enclosure, which they have like live bugs. They've got a big, huge area of dirt that they dig around in. It's as natural as it can be. So they are on an opposite cycle to us. They come out during the day. Their lights come on at night. And it rains in there. I think 2 or 3 times a week. I can't remember exactly. But, these kiwi are literally in centimetres in front of me, pushed up against the glass, digging around. And if there was no glass, I could have just pet one. And we had other tourists who were in the room with us whose just minds were blowing. And every time I go there, it's like this. It's fantastic. And, the other thing not to overlook up there in that area is the museum. They've got a really awesome young curator in there at the moment who's changing out the exhibitions on a quarterly basis. So at the moment, at the time of recording, they've got the Matariki one in there, which has got they've got slides which were taken in the 1920s. They're some of the first space photography, which was all done by a man in, I believe, it was Kaikoura, excuse me, because I can't remember exactly which one, but further up north. And he was one of the first people photographing. He built his own equipment to take these photos of space, and they're all at Whangarei Museum. They've got them on display. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's a really cool place to go. It's really neat to see. They've just had some new geckos that have come in. So they've got several different kinds. They've got Dave the Kokopoo, which is a fully grown whitebait. So he's super friendly, quite interactive in his little tank. He's going to make you feel guilty for enjoying a whitebait fritter.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so much to do up there. And I think sometimes as a local, you know it's there, but you never really go.
Is that also where the Space Observatory is?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And again, I haven't been up there myself yet, but I've heard really cool things about it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I know that they're always running events and things.
Yeah, yes.
I'm a massive space nerd. I can't believe I still haven't
I know.
gone. And also, is this place is good for stargazing?
Absolutely.
Like you get these very clear nights.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, another one of the places that I hadn't been to until we took people there, and again until having kids, and is the Quarry Gardens. And we and our members there, we go there. I would hate to think how often. It's fantastic. If you've got kids, then people hide painted rocks around the gardens, so you can spend hours searching for painted rocks and rehiding them.
That's very wholesome.
It's very wholesome. It's a great way. And there's a cafe, so you can get your coffee. Mum and Dad can have their coffee fix. The kids can run wild a little bit, which is always good. And the good thing with some of these places as well is they do have concessions or family passes for the year. So nice. I know Kiwi North, and Kiwi North, Handavasa, the gardens, they all have concession passes. So you pay once for the year. Often it's not actually that much more than a normal pass, and you get to go as many times as you like. So, which is really good, everyone's watching their pennies a little bit at the moment, so that's a really good way to make the most of some of our local attractions and support them while also saving some money.
Yeah, good plan.
Yeah.
Actually, let's say you have unlimited money though. Like, let's just pretend. Like, because I think even the most expensive days out in Whangarei are pretty affordable.
Yes, yeah.
Like compared to other places in the world.
Absolutely.
So, if sort of you're just really wanting to treat everybody, what are some of the like top line like all out adventures you can do?
All out adventure. If I was going to book an all out adventure, I think first stop would be, I mean, you can't go past the Perfect Day Cruise or Dive Tutukaka.
Yeah.
That
I'm so lucky to have done that.
Yeah, the Poor Knights Islands is amazing. Unfortunately, I can't actually dive because of my ears, and everyone else in my family is a avid diver, so I'm really missing out.
But they do snorkeling as well.
They do snorkeling, paddle boarding, so I can still take part.
Yeah.
And I have been out there snorkeling before, and it's just, you see the videos and the photos, and you know it's good, but when you get your face into the water, it is just staggering.
Yeah.
And Kate from Dive Tutukaka is really awesome, so knowledgeable. Their team out there are fantastic, so that would have to be, a must do.
Is there like mountain biking clubs and that sort of thing?
Well, I know that we have over 100 kilometres of road and cycle trails in Whangarei. So, yeah, I think there's definitely clubs around and tracks around for mountain biking. Personally, I can barely ride a bike on two wheels on the pavement, so
right.
I'm not a super knowledgeable person about that, but I do know that there's quite a bit around. But I was actually thinking recently, when it comes to spending a little bit of money and treating yourself, is that when you travel, there's often people have a bucket list. You have a list of things that you've always wanted to do. And we actually have so many of those you can tick off here in Whangarei. I was actually Googling before travel bucket list just to see what people have on there and how many we can tick off. Ride a horse on a beach, we can do that. We've got the Waipu Horse Adventures and Sandy Bay. We've got, people want to climb a mountain, you can take your pick here, Mount Manaya. For some reason, people say run a half marathon. Look, each their own. If you'd like to do that, you can do that in Whangarei.
Yep.
We're not going to judge you for that one. If you'd like to catch a fish, there's fishing tours. You can learn to surf. You can, learn to dive. You can see dolphins. There's so much here that, if you did want to treat yourself.
Wait, you can see dolphins here?
Have you been out? Surely you've seen dolphins here.
Well, actually, yeah. Okay, fine. You got me. I've seen dolphins here.
Yeah.
Do we have like cruises that are about that?
Well, I think that you definitely do up in, I think, more the Bay of Islands, but I know the Dive Tutukaka, no one's going to guarantee, obviously, they don't work to our schedules. But I think more often than not, I was actually looking at some reels this morning of someone who had been out with Dive Tutukaka over the weekend and they had dolphins. Best thing to do is make friends with somebody with a boat.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was actually funny growing up here in Whangarei. We had a boat, and more often than not on the weekend my dad would go out fishing, right? And being a teenage girl, my priority wasn't really to go fishing. I'd go out occasionally and he would promise me all these things. I've seen dolphins and I've seen this and I've seen these things, and I'd never see any of it. You can guarantee the week that I didn't go, he'll come back. I've seen orca, I've seen dolphins, I've seen seals, I've seen all these things. So we've been lucky a few times to see them out and about, but it's definitely a perk of our insanely beautiful harbour is getting out and seeing those things and having them on our doorstep.
I want to talk about some other things you might need a ticket for, because I really like the event scene here.
Yeah.
And I remember in Auckland going out to see something had to be a really big deal, like it was going to take your whole night.
Yes, yeah.
And it feels like here actually going to something is much more casual.
And it's super accessible. Yeah, we have so many really great event spaces and organisations, and so many passionate people in Whangarei who just, no matter what your niche is or your interest, you're going to find someone who wants to celebrate it with you. And 116 is amazing. They have some really cool shows, productions, and local radio. From North have heaps of events coming through. Seminole Stadium, we just had LAB announced. So, whether you're looking for small events or something large, we've got it for you. There's a lot of options up here. One really good thing is that we have now the What's on Whangarei e-newsletter. So you can subscribe to that through the Whangarei.
And there's a Facebook page.
And a Facebook page, yeah.
So
subscribe
you just type in what's on Whangarei.
Yes, yep, and you can follow that page. They share a lot of local events, not just council-supported ones, but everything that's going on in the region. And, yeah, you can sign up to that through the Whangarei District Council website.
Yeah.
Seamless plug, thank you.
Yeah. I notice a lot of people here use Event Finder.
Event Finder, yes,
So
and
that's
that's
quite big
also
here.
on the Whangarei NZ website. You can find events that are going
yeah.
on as well. So heaps of information. But, there's just... It's really neat to see just the range of things that come through to Whangarei. And I mean, I have recently been to a couple of events at 116 and I'm trying to make an effort to go to things that aren't in my normal wheelhouse. And it's just so cool to see enthusiastic, talented people out there doing their thing.
Yeah. Actually, did you see Ukaipo?
I did.
Yeah, you must have been in the different,
Yes, Sunday
different ones
night.
than me. Yeah, right.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, the
So
Palanga
this is
Matariki.
local dance performance.
Yeah.
Fully original choreography, telling some like really fascinating local stories from an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
And like this mix of very accessible, literal voiceover narrative.
Yes.
Did you guys get like a standing ovation happening
Yes,
at the end?
yeah.
And, yeah, same with us.
It was so inspiring just to, I felt like I could get up on stage and do something with which I'm not brave enough and I'm not as brave as those people, but it made you want to get out there and actually give things a go or push your limits or, try something new.
The thing that really struck me about Ukaipo was that it felt like it could only happen in Whangarei.
Yes, yeah.
Like I just, and with the Fringe Festival coming up, I'm really looking forward to that in like late September.
Yeah.
Last time we had one of those a couple of years ago, it was just very much embraced by the community. Same with
Yes,
like the
it really
Maritime
was.
Festival.
Yep. Yes.
Events that happen on the waterfront.
Yeah.
Recently for the Matariki Festival, and we had like it sort of ended with the Lantern and Light
Which was
parade.
fantastic. I think we had 5,000 people down at the waterfront just enjoying themselves, and it was a fantastic atmosphere. The team did an awesome job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's really worth saying is if you can get in on a community event,
Yep.
then you'll see a side of Whangarei that is sometimes sort of hiding or less visible if you're just passing through.
Absolutely. And I think that ties into something that, I get asked an awful lot about, which is, people who are moving up here or have come here and maybe struggle to meet people or make friends. And especially during winter, it's really easy to just, huddle inside and sort of hibernate, I guess. And so, for locals who are looking to get out and about and to do something during winter, consider volunteering or signing up for a new group or a new hobby or a new interest. We have so many really awesome resources. Volunteering Northland is a really great place to start. They can sort of matchmake you with something that suits you and that also, gives back to the community. 116, I've mentioned, they're always looking for volunteers. Same with a lot of the events that are going around. They often are looking for people to help out and lend a hand. There's heaps of really awesome organisations. The Heritage Park has got so many niche groups. I know like the Steam Train and the Model Railway, and there's a Rocks and Minerals group. And if you've got something that you are passionate about or something that you're even just a little bit interested in, you'll find someone who wants to share that with you. So, that can be a really good way to get out in the community during winter.
Another example, I actually want to shout out Multicultural Whangarei.
Yes.
Just seems like everything they touch recently turns to gold.
Yes.
And they did the Latin American Festival
Yep.
the other day, and it was just like filled up for North. And the thing that really struck me about it is that they just had like the hottest dance floor.
Yes, yeah.
So like for a start, they had a light up dance floor. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it seemed like anytime there was music playing, people were up and dancing. And it was just like very, very friendly, very welcoming. And at one point, it was like a live salsa band.
Yep.
And like hundreds of people.
Which
just
I believe
like,
they do at Loco on a Sunday night.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah, I think there's salsa.
That's where that disappears to. Okay,
which is
nice.
Just so cool. There's so many things like that maybe you don't necessarily know about, but when you go digging, there's heaps of cool little events and niche things around the place, which is, it's just awesome.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Actually, this is my own little tip off the top of my head is ask a busker.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you give them something, I'm sure they'll give you a world of information of like things that are going on.
That's honestly probably my biggest tip and my takeaway from my time travel writing is get to know the locals. And if you're ever unsure of anything, ask the locals. You know, we used to spend 4 or 5 days in each region that we were covering. And the first thing I would do is go to a coffee shop and say to the person, what's your favourite walk? Where's the best place to, you know, see the sunset? If your friends are coming from Australia, where would you take them for dinner? You know, there's so much knowledge held by locals and they are our biggest ambassadors. You know, all of you who are listening to this, you're our biggest ambassadors. What you love about Whangarei, what you're passionate about, and how you share that with people is what they'll remember and what they go and see. And that connection with other people as well, getting to know someone, they share a little bit of what they love about Whangarei, you go and see that, you share it with someone else. It just is a really cool way of getting to know somewhere.
Although, visit the eyesight as well.
Oh, and look, the eyesight are my favourite people. They're just the best. They have so much knowledge. The team there are really, really awesome. So it's just a matter of, find the right people and really listen to what they love about their place. There's a lot to love about Whangarei, and I think you just discover some really, really cool little hidden secrets. As much as we advertise, there are still hidden secrets that we're not telling anyone about. So you have to go talk to a local to find those. Fishing spots. If you want a good fishing spot, talk to a local. They are never going to advertise them. And it may cost you a box of beer or something along those lines. But that's the only way you get some information out of people.
I mean, I suppose it's that thing of like, you can, like, this is actually a proper full-size functioning city. And so there's all that niche stuff. Like, if you can find your way into the subculture, then they'll start to be friendly with and you know, show you where to find, you know, the best mountain bike tracks. And the favourite walks or the best place to get a cup of coffee, which is always, you know, highly debated. Best places for a like freshwater plunge in winter time. There's like heaps of different waterfalls here. Actually there's a mushroom tour that operates in Whangarei. So they go out on weekends and like in arranged places and go mushroom hunting and learn about the mycology. Pretty cool. You know, like, and all of that specific stuff is you know, is definitely operating below the surface. And actually before we move on, I want to quickly mention as well, like, you know, full-size functioning city, we've got indoor pools, including a wave pool. We've got movie theaters, we've got a bowling alley. You know, we've got like a good range of shops. Absolutely. And so all of that sort of really standard stuff you might expect to find in a big city is available here as well. And 150 restaurants and eateries. Really? Wow. We've got so many cafes and restaurants, and, you know, I don't know about anyone else, but I often look up airfares and then close down my browser when it gets too expensive. So if I'm ever feeling like I need to get on a plane, you can just go out for a meal in Whangarei and just absolutely satisfy that curiosity for a much cheaper price. So, you know, whether you like the Vietnamese banh mi or a Japanese bento box or Greek, Turkish, there's just really is, or even, to be honest, a lot of our local flavours. We've got a lot of restaurants that really showcase our local produce and everything so beautifully. And we are spoilt up here with our seafood and things. So, you know, our dining scene is just fantastic. And again, you know, very conscious that everyone's in a, you know, cost of living, things like that's top of priority. But if we can get out and support those local retailers and the local bars and restaurants, even if it's just, you know, grabbing some hot chips and a glass of wine on a Sunday afternoon, I think it's a really awesome way to support our local community and the really fantastic people who are involved in there. So, go out and eat. That's my favourite thing to do. Good thinking. And actually, like, you're sort of indicating, you know, how important that is of supporting local business and how much growth we can see for that. Like, how important is tourism to this place? Yeah, it's so important. I think everyone in New Zealand is really reliant on tourism, and then that's been so obvious in the last few years. Whangarei's had it rough, you know, with COVID, with Cyclone Gabrielle, with the Brenduins. We've had one thing after another, and it's been really amazing getting out and just talking to the operators recently. And they're so, you know, they've been through a lot and they're super positive. And I just, anyway, that's a key thing I see about my job is really trying to get people up here into Whangarei and showcasing just
the amazing people, the amazing natural resources, everything that's just, we've got so much going for us and just really opening us back up to the rest of the country. 2023, I think we had just shy of 500,000 people visit Whangarei. Funny, it actually surprised me. So 84% of that was domestic.
Wow.
So most of our visitors are coming from Auckland.
Yeah, wow.
So hi everyone in Auckland listening to this, please
Auckland.
come up. We really love you. And next on that list
Closer than Coromandel.
Closer, we're so close, just over 2 hours now, or a 20-minute flight. Queenstown was the second highest, and then Christchurch. So we're getting that lower South Island coming up. 84% domestic, 16% international. So, I think we can really showcase ourselves more on an international stage. Like, people probably don't realise what we have here. That's our job. Craig and I both run social media. So if you see us putting out all the beautiful photos of Whangarei, we are tempting those international tourists to our shores.
Actually, I want to say to locals, like, if you get a killer photo, send it in.
Please do.
Yeah.
We have
Tell us we can use it.
We have some amazing photography. Tourism is really, really important, and it's really great to see as well. We've got some really cool events coming into Whangarei. We've got some big events coming into Whangarei. We've got some real draw cards that are going to bring people in from all around the country. We're getting things that now Auckland isn't. Sorry, Auckland, we still love you. LAB is a really good example of that. We're one of only 3 locations that they're coming to with this tour. So, there's just a lot of things going on here. We really want everyone to come and visit. Let us show off. Let us share our amazing city with you. Really, it's...
Oh, nice. Well, I've been trying to think of the absolute cheesiest way for us to end this podcast.
Right.
And I reckon what it is we have to go in sync. We have to go, Whangarei, love it here.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, is that cheesy
all right,
enough?
Let's do it. I'm already wearing the T-shirt, so we may as well go
and you can
full
show
into
that
it.
to the camera.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
all right. Okay, on 3. Whangarei.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even count 3. Yeah. The first number is 1. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Whangarei, love it here.
Genuinely inspiring. Thanks so much for telling us about this.
No, thank you. Honestly, it's really hard to stop me talking about Whangarei once you get me started. But always here to hear anyone's feedback. If anyone's got anything they want to share with me that I don't know about, which of course is going to be still quite a bit, just drop me a message. Come and talk to me on Facebook. I'm the one behind the Whangarei District Love It Here page. We're currently revamping our website, and so if anyone wants to share some of their Whangarei must-dos or their, ultimate Whangarei weekend, really keen to hear that. We just want to engage with as much of the community as we can, and you are, as I said, all of you are our greatest ambassadors, and we want to help you get your voice heard too.
Also, visit the Pukenui Forest. It's awesome.
Pukenui Forest is awesome. My husband convinced me to go there for it. Sorry, we're going off track again. Yeah. This is what happens when you get me talking about Whangarei. But we had a child-free weekend, and we decided we'll go for a short bushwalk. And he decided, everyone in the room's just gone, oh dear. We actually accidentally ended up in Manu from Camo, so I'm getting told to stop talking. But that's what happens if you get lost in the Pukenui
I'm imagining
Forest.
that we just fade this part out.
Yeah.
So,